Hello and welcome to Uptown Bills. I'm Tom Gilsonen, your host and the director of Uptown Bills. Tonight's program is being broadcast live on Community Channel 18 in Iowa City. It's also streaming on the web if you go to the PATV website, patv.tv. You can watch it there. If you are with us here in the coffee house, we're having a drawing tonight. We're giving away a couple of t-shirts for River Run. River Run is a benefit for Uptown Bills, and we'll do that in a few minutes. If you haven't yet signed up, the basket is right here on the table. You can add your name, and in a few minutes we'll draw winners for the t-shirts. So our Thursday evening programs go back to 2002 when J.P. Clausen and Rick Vornbrock organized a forum for songwriters. I think it was called the Unsung Forum. And they would sit around in a circle and play music and share it with each other. It gradually grew into what you see now, which is the open mic. The present format began in the fall of 2010. So we've been doing this for a long time. Uptown Bills is named for Bill Sachter, who's the man with the beard in the picture behind me. Bill spent almost 50 years in a big old state mental hospital in Minnesota. In the 1960s, it was decided that putting people with disabilities into big old hospitals wasn't such a great idea. So Bill was sent back to Minneapolis. Unfortunately, his family was long gone, so he kind of fumbled around for a while, and he met Barry Morrow, who's the person on your right in the picture, the guy with the tie. Barry was a young writer and very interested in a brand new technology, video. He also was a collector of people. He had a number of friends he collected along the way, and he met Bill, and Bill became one of those friends. Barry was offered a job here in Iowa City, and Barry and his wife Bev came, and Bill ended up coming too. Bill had worked in the kitchen of a country club in Minneapolis. But this is a lot smaller town, and remember, this is quite some years ago, so it was really hard to find a job for Bill here. What eventually emerged was a coffee shop called Wild Bill's Coffee Shop in North Hall on the university campus. North Hall was originally the place where student teachers went. It was a K-12 school, and the coffee shop is in what was once the kindergarten classroom. Still have the cubby holes for the, your little Blanky and Teddy. And also the reading circle is still on the floor. It's been faithfully redone several times so that you can see what it looked like. So that's where Bill worked for the rest of his life from about 1975 until 1983. His friend Barry thought, this is quite a remarkable story about what's happened. I think I'll write something. That something turned into the screenplay for a movie. The movie was called Bill, and the picture behind me shows Mickey Rooney, who played Bill, and that's a young Dennis Quaid up on top with all that hair. He played Barry in the film. So Bill became a celebrity after that, and people came to visit him here in Iowa City. They'd come during the summer, like they go to visit the Field of Dreams now. They'd come to see Bill. So the producers of the first movie said, well, Barry, why don't you write another one? So he did. It was called Bill on His Own. It featured Helen Hunt as a University of Iowa student and a relatively unknown young singer-songwriter before he had his really large band, Lyle Lovett. Lyle Lovett sings a song in the film as the characters playing Barry and Bill walk by. Shortly after the second film was done, Bill died, but the coffee shop stayed. It's still there, and we grew out of there. We started in 2001. We're kind of like the bigger, badder Bills. And just about 6 years ago, we moved here to this site on South Dubuque Street. We are safe, at least for a couple of years. As you can look around the neighborhood, you can see lots of construction going on, but the bulldozer hasn't arrived at our place yet. Our building is actually owned by PATV, or the people downstairs. So At least for now, and that's a question we get asked every day, is so how long do you get to stay? At least for now, we're here. Oh, Uptown Bills, the idea of Uptown Bills was that it could do things that weren't possible in the small confines of the original coffee shop. So over time, we've started and supported a variety of small businesses, including a refinishing shop, a vintage shop, a clothing resale store, a bakery, and lots of other things. We've also supported some online businesses. Some of those are still around. Some of those came and went. And we're looking for other projects. Our current new project we're supporting is a radio station, an actual broadcast radio station. KICI 105.3 in Iowa City is what it will be. We've just begun the work on that. We've rented a little space in the back, and we're starting the work of putting together the studio. The broadcast tower will probably be one that's inside Old Brick. We'll keep you posted over the next few months. We hope to be on the air and online within several months. So that's the scoop there. Let's see what else is there to tell you. We do this every Thursday. Also on Saturdays, we have live music. If you are present with us in the coffee house, there's a calendar of music on the little table by the door. If you're watching us on television, you can go to our website and see our music calendar there, uptownbills.org. So there you go. First thing we're going to do tonight is meet our artist. We have a new art show that's here, and Rock Williams is the artist. He's here with us tonight. And Rock, if you'd come up, we'll chat for a minute or two. He's getting last-minute advice here from about how to behave on stage. So just come past Elmo there and up the ramp and have a seat, and we'll talk a little bit. Rock is a longtime fixture in Iowa City, although I didn't know he was an artist, and maybe we'll find out a little more about that in a minute. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Let's put this fellow down a little bit so people can see you. All right. Tell us a little about the show.
The main thing I want to say about the show is how grateful I am, my family is, for Uptown Bill's being here.
Oh,
and
thanks.
everything that you do, it's incredible.
Thank you.
It's not just what you do, it's how it's done and how it's not done. It means more to a lot of people than probably some of you can fathom. The supportive atmosphere, the inclusive, being genuine is special, like no place I've been in anywhere in the last 250 years. So, anyway, so.
Thank you. Would you pull that just a little closer, the microphone?
Yeah.
Yes, so that we can.
Is that better?
Yeah, that would be
Okay,
great.
so-
Be great. We want the folks at home to hear you. If you're going to say those nice things about us, we want to hear them.
My son-in-law
Is here?
my daughter,
Uh-huh.
and my granddaughter, my grandson, and friends of theirs, and
How grand is this grandson?
he's real grand. And my newest grandson over there in arms.
Oh, wow.
2 months. Yeah,
Wow.
so,
Wonderful.
Christmas baby.
Wonderful.
Yeah, okay, I'll shut up now.
Well, tell us a little about the show, the art show. What have you got
I don't know
for us
how
to
many
look
are
at?
in there. A dozen or so.
Yeah, 12 or 15, yeah.
that I painted over a period of time,
Mm-hmm.
and both the oldest and the newest are in there, and everything else was done well in between.
Do you have favorites?
Pardon?
Do you have favorites?
Favorites.
Yeah. I mean, they could hear us, the art pieces, so maybe you don't want to say that while they're
I have
listening.
favorites, I guess. But there's different ideas of favorite, and there's some that are not for sale, but they're going to stay with the family.
Okay.
And in a way, whatever I did most recently, in a way, is always a certain kind of favor. It's like the new baby in the family or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But there are some there that, for me, are the product of and evocative of very powerful, memories. Some of them of a family nature or friend nature, or stuff I did before any of the family that knows me now was around. But I didn't answer your question, did I? Yes, I have favorites.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Is there one you would tell us about? We should especially take a look at?
Well, the most recent one is that gigantic one right inside.
Okay, the one on the wall right inside the door, yeah. People have been looking at that one.
One reason that might be a favorite of mine is that it's the first time I have ever painted with anybody in the room with me.
No kidding.
And that was my granddaughter Samantha.
Oh.
It's also the first one I've ever let anybody else see before I decided I was done with it.
Ah.
And that is a level of something I'm not sure what it means. It's partly about the people, partly about maybe I'm not as scared or arrogant, or fear is sometimes arrogance. Anyway, as I used to be. Whatever.
All right, so that's one to be sure to look at. It's that big one.
The other one's called Leo.
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 Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a dark-skinned man, and that was a part of my life that went on for years and was very important. So anyway, enough of that. Go ahead.
All
Next.
right.
You only get 3
Now
more.
you have yeah, 3 more. Now you had a previous life in bookstores in Iowa City.
Not a previous life. Just, whatever.
All
It's,
right.
something we no longer have. The bookstore.
All right.
But we did have bookstores.
North Side was one of those, the most recent one.
Jan and I started the haunted bookshop
Okay.
in our home in 1978.
78. All right.
And a year later, our son Court was born.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years later, our daughter Leah was born. And they grew up in that bookshop in our home with people, sometimes utter strangers, feeding them in their high shirts and helping us. And Leah could tell time at an early age. When it came near closing time, she would run telling people, "We're closing soon, get out."
Fun.
Anyway.
So Haunted was the beginning.
And then we had eventually a place called Storm Cellar, which was more about music than about books.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten about that.
Maybe
Yeah.
AM sessions and so on.
Yeah.
And then Northside Book Market.
Northside Book, which is when I met you. Probably don't remember this, but it was at Northside.
Indeed, I do. Yeah.
And when did you would we say retire from Northside?
We decided to sell Northside 2008, 2007, right around there, 2009, I think.
Okay, sometime after while I was away.
Anyway, it was 2008. Neil of the Haunted Bookshop, then she'd become the owner of the Haunted Bookshop,
Mm-hmm.
had announced a October the 15th 30-year celebration since the founding of the Haunted Bookshop
Mm-hmm.
at our home in '78. And we showed up at the party. We were invited, actually.
That's good.
And announced, when she introduced us, that the North Side was now also for sale. And Neil said, and she said, "I'll take it."
All right.
And we never advertised. And so she became the godmother of both of our bookshops.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, glad you're here.
I'm grateful to be
The
here.
show is up through March, and if you're here tonight, or if you're close enough, you can run down. You're going to be around for a few more minutes. you'll chat with people about the show and
A little bit.
some of your inspiration for it. How do you? My last question is, how do you decide when to paint? Is there an inspiration that comes to you first, or do you sit down and say, "I'm going to paint
I
today"?
usually
Or
wake up in the night.
really? Okay, with an idea.
No. With an itchy hand.
Really? Okay.
Most of my paintings, when I hit the canvas, I don't know what it is that's happening. Literally. It's not like spooky, it's just the way it is. My hand hits the canvas and there's something happening that is not verbal, and I am very happy with it being that way.
Nice.
But it not being verbal, I try to keep words completely out of the room when I'm painting and out of my head, and boy, what a job that is. Well, anyway.
Well, thank you very much for coming. Rock Williams, this month's artist, longtime person in the book field in Iowa City. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming.
I suppose we could have our drawing now. If you would be willing to bring up the basket, and would you be willing to come up and pick a couple of winners? We're giving away T-shirts tonight for the River Run, which is on Sunday, April 24th, and there are registration forms on the little table by the door if you're interested in finding out more about it. Uptown Bill says benefits from the River Run. We're the beneficiary, I guess you'd say. Another way to say it. So we're thrilled. And this year, things are going really well, and they brought us some T-shirts the other day, and we can give them away. Okay, if you pick one. And step up to the microphone and
Dana. How do you pronounce your last name?
I don't need to say it.
I know it's you though.
all right. Here you go. I think it's a large. If you need a different size, check with us afterwards. We might have another size. Okay, and here we go. Here's another.
Amber.
Hey. Same thing, it's a large, so if you need a different size, talk to us in a few minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? All right. Thank you very much. I talked to our friend Joe. Some of you have met Joe. Whizzes around in a wheelchair, usually doing the drawing. He couldn't make it tonight, but he said to say hello and to tell you that he'll be back next week. I see Joe is here. Another Joe. Joe Beetle is here. Probably stopped at Taco Bell on the way.
Yeah, I did.
Did you? Huh? What'd you have tonight?
Just the quesadilla.
Quesadilla. Okay. All right. So Joe, among other things, has I wouldn't say it's unhealthy, but a very large attachment to Taco Bell. Maybe on the border.
Yeah, it's on the border of unhealthy.
Okay. I'm sorry for that. Run to the border thing. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah.
So I've been passing along things to him. I gave him a recipe about how to make a gordita at home, some other things like that. So anyway, he keeps appearing, and so he's here to do a little comedy for us, I believe, tonight, right?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Okay, come on up. And Joe Beetle. Now, we have two choices here. You can use this one, or there actually is one you can just pick up if you want.
Oh, okay, I'll just pick up this one.
So hello? Yeah. Okay, we ready?
Yep.
Hopefully. Yeah. So yeah, I'm Joe. I may or may not have stopped at Taco Bell on the way here. I don't know. That's why I was late. You know, there's duty calls. Run to the border. So this is cool. It's the first time I've done comedy in front of infant. This will be the first time. Yeah. Yeah. Not scared. I'm really scared, actually. I don't know how to handle this. That'd be the weirdest heckle I think I've ever had. You know, I've had some weird ones, but a baby crying, you don't know what to say to that. You know, you can't. There's a lot of people you have to defend for that heckle. You know, yeah. If I got mad, yeah, that would be terrible. You know, I don't know. I'm a little frightened. I'm afraid of having like children of my own. You know, because they say that kids are supposed to be worse than you are. So I don't really know how anybody can get worse than I am. You know, I don't think that's really scary. Yeah. But my girlfriend has a kid. So that's cool because I don't want one of my own, so I think I should take care of somebody else's. You know, that's really smart. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know, but I just think about back like when I was a kid. And the coolest thing when I was a kid was when you could like beat your father at sports. That was like the coolest day ever. You know, you'd be like, Dad, no, I'm watching the 6 o'clock news. You know, you mow the lawn with scissors, Dad. You know, you put on the French maid outfit. You know, ring the bell. Put extra mayo on the sandwich. Yeah. I don't know. My father has like a weird head thing going on. It's called baldness, and I'm really afraid of it because I don't want it to happen to me. You know, but you can't really get rid of it. And he has the worst one. He has the bald that's like this. So it's like you're half bald, not really bald. You know, and I don't know how am I supposed to apply the medicine of baldness to the horseshoe shape? You know, how am I supposed to just tinfoil my hair down? Put like a little blow dryer, you know, put like a mini toilet seat, and then apply the Rogaine to the toilet seat, and then put it on my head, you know, and then am I gonna have to just suction it down onto my head like that? I don't know. Or will I have to go to one of those salon-style things, and then they just spray it on my head? I don't know. I should just shave my head, really, is what I should do. I don't know. So yeah, I quit drinking a long time ago because I was afraid to have babies. Yeah, the danger. Sorry about that. I do apologize. And but yeah, I didn't quit drinking because I had like a problem. I stopped drinking for the challenge. Yeah, you try to live with this hairline sober, you know. So yeah. I apologize. I didn't mean to. I was going for a little bit of danger there. Might have stepped on the line. I do apologize for the kid thing. I do apologize. No, but I'm recently in a relationship, and it's weird because I've never done that before, and I feel like being in a relationship is just like riding a tandem bike. You know, you're just riding a tandem bike on the RAGBRAI of life. Like that's what you're doing. You're just riding a tandem bike together. You know, when you guys take a left turn, she takes a left turn. You know, when she gets off the bike, you still have to drive the bike. You know, you still have to ride the bike even when there's nobody on there. You have to ride a bike for two with one person sometimes. You know, and then sometimes you have to put her on your back, and then you still ride the bike. You know, and sometimes when you're not feeling manly enough, you have to take your baseball card and you have to put it in the back stoke just so it makes that little noise. When you were a kid, you know, it makes the engine noise. I don't know. Sounds like a motor. Is what I'm going for. Remember that? That was the coolest thing ever. Huh? You'd put your LeBron rookie card in the. Generations change. Same principle, but different rookie card. You know. Yeah. I feel like I should just do what Elmo does. Just do that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm almost done here, I think. I should talk more about tacos. I like the Taco Bell is cool. They had the new surprise for the Super Bowl. Even Tom's had enough. He's closing the door. He's done. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so it's weird because I quit drinking like a year and a half ago, and it's always weird to like explain to people that like this keeps me sober, because like I can see all your guys' faces, and you know what I mean. Like I can tell that each one of you is like, how does he do it? Like, I kind of want to drink for him, you know? I can tell. It's just in your eyes, I can tell, you know? And it's always weird to, because, like, as being an alcoholic and doing stand-up comedy, there's a lot of similarities in both. I'm addicted to, there it is. Yeah, it was going to happen, yeah. What if I was just like, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, in both, I'm addicted to failure. So that'll work for me. All right, thank you for letting me bother you guys. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank all of you. Yeah.
You stopped.
Yeah, I know. I had too much tacos, I think.
Are you done?
Well, yeah,
Is
unless
there
you want
more?
to talk about the goat. Did they find the goat?
Yes, the goat was captured.
Oh, it was captured.
Yeah, and an animal like sanctuary in California offered to take him.
So they shipped the goat to California?
No, the research people said they wanted to keep the goat. So did you see the picture of him? And he has like little things on his head. I don't know exactly what those are for. I guess they're doing orthopedic research. That worries me a little bit.
Yeah, on a goat.
Yeah.
And they're sending it to Stanford. Remember we were talking about that? They're sending it to the band. The band's going to do a sacrificial lamb on the goat. That's what they're going to do. We found the laugh. I was looking for that 6 minutes ago, Tom, but we found it, finally.
The university said it cost about $10,000 to find him.
$10,000 to find the goat?
Yeah.
Doesn't Iowa have a bunch of farmers? We don't raise goat here. It's just corn.
Just
corn goat.
You'd think it would be a little quicker than that, but
Yeah.
yeah, they estimated $10,000 to find him.
And nobody was like, I'll do it for $5.
No.
Nobody was like,
And I guess various times a goat was seen, in people's yards and that sort of thing, but they would get close and then the goat would run off.
Well,
Pretty
do you know
smart
what
fellow.
goat means?
No,
The greatest of all time is what the goat means. So, like, if somebody calls you the goat,
GOAT, that's good.
yeah, greatest of all time. Yeah, it's in sports all the
I
time.
like
That's
that,
how I know that. Yeah.
Okay, so you think it should have gone to the Stanford band and they could have used it as a mascot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the research place in California.
Wow.
As they're just saying it's a research place, but really it's the Stanford band, and they're gonna skin the goat alive and they're gonna wear it.
No. They'll probably dress him up, have a little hat and sunglasses.
Yeah, and then
maybe one of those funny noses.
yeah, and they'll
So-
play him on the drums. Like when they used to take the pigs on the porker. Not the
Ooh.
porker, but what is it called? The
Rotisserie?
Yeah, but it's the before rotisserie. They would have them on the open fire, and they would have
pit. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean. They'll have them on that, and then the Stanford guy will just play the drums on him, and then
I don't know.
too far.
It's a family show here.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. I didn't know that was.
All right. But any other Taco Bell adventures you want to?
No, actually, I haven't really had any Taco Bell adventures because that's about it. Besides the Super Bowl thing, that's it.
I want to know if you ever walked up to the drive-through.
Well, as you said earlier, this is a family show, and I did that a lot back in my glory days, as some people would
I
say.
see. Okay.
But yeah, we used to do that, and we would pretend that we were in a car. We would all stand, and one person would be in the passenger seat, and
Yeah.
one person would be in the back. Yeah.
I wondered if it's any different because a long time ago I tried to use a drive-up teller at a bank,
Mm-hmm.
and I walked up, and the teller said, "I'm sorry, I can't help you." So, well, why not? Well, you have to go get your car. So I don't own a car.
Yeah, I guess it's
Well, you'll
it's
have to
against
wait
them.
until the bank opens. I said, well, but you're open now. I want money now. I
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
wait till you open. So, but they wouldn't serve me without a car. So I wondered how that works at Taco Bell.
It's the same. I wonder if there's like some health code.
Oh yeah, you have to bring
Yeah,
your car.
it's like a health, and I think it's a safety thing too. But I mean, people are going to see you when.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What if you had one of those, like, those walking school buses? Have you seen those in the neighborhoods?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What if you had one of those? You think you could get served then?
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if you could take one of those What were those one cars? You used to have the Barbie dream cars?
Oh,
Yeah, what if you took that in
yeah.
there? Yeah.
Or one of those ride-up tractors.
Yeah,
There
you
was
do,
a
but
little-
I think you can do the.
Okay.
Yeah. What if you took the? Never mind. I was gonna say the tandem bike with the baseball card in it, but never mind. Because it makes a motor sound. Yeah, remember when you take the baseball card?
Yeah, I never did that on a tandem bike. You need 2 cards then. And I never used a baseball card. We always used a playing card. Had a better sound.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't so susceptible to dampness as the baseball
Yeah,
card.
because they have more of a thicker.
More plastic in them or
Yeah.
something. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Nice to
yeah,
see
thanks
you.
for having me.
Glad
Yeah,
you made it
thanks.
tonight. No adventures searching for somebody's house or something that
No.
got you here late.
No,
right.
no adventures like that.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Joe Beetle. I think I mentioned there was I saw this play this summer in which there was a beetle. I'm trying to think of what's the. I'm trying to think of a story. Oh, like in Dr. Dolittle when he flies to the moon on the back of a butterfly. Well, this is another story in which the main character is supposed to fly up. It's a Greek story. It's supposed to fly up to Mount Olympus to meet one of the gods on the back of a beetle. So the show gets kind of mixed up, and first comes out is a little Volkswagen. No, that's not the Beetle. And then out comes Beetle Bailey, the cartoon character. No, that's not it. And so I thought, I kept thinking, well, Joe could be in this show. Here comes Joe Beetle. Anyway, then the final thing is the actual beetle that he flies up to Mount Olympus on. But you could have been in that show, slowly using this microphone. All right, let's see. I have a little bit of history for you, and I want to tell you about a couple things. As you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in our neighborhood. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. Up the street here, there used to be 3 little houses that were built before the Civil War. About the time the train came to Iowa City, there was actually a contest, and Iowa City put up some money to see which company could get the train here first. The big thing was crossing the Mississippi River, of course, getting the bridge done and all that kind of thing. It had to be here by a certain date, and I've forgotten the year, but it had to be here by New Year's Day, and they made it with just minutes to spare. But there was a lot of growth in this particular neighborhood. Where the train station is now, right up by the tracks, is where the train station was 150 years ago. And those 3 little houses were built there because that's where the growth and development was. Now, there is also a house on this side, in the next block over, that probably was used for railroad work crews. They would come through and stay for a few months at a time, and then go on to the next town and do more work. So this house was built about 1900, and it appears to be that. Not known for sure. Unfortunately, its life is not guaranteed. It's likely to be torn down. But I want to tell you about one house, a big house, that has been saved from being demolished. You know where the gas station is down here at the corner, the BP station? Across the street, there's a new apartment complex going up. And just beyond that is a house that has sort of pillars and, what do you call it, a porch, but a fancy porch. You might even call it a portico there. And that house has an interesting history. It also was built in 1900. In its early years, it was a hotel that has 10 bedrooms. But it was a hotel for African Americans who could not stay in the downtown hotels. But it was convenient to the train, so you could go that way and stay. Later, in the 40s and 50s, it was the place where black male students who went to the University of Iowa lived. The university wouldn't allow black students to live on campus. African American women were allowed first. That started in the 1940s, but men not for several years after that. So this was the dorm, if you will, for young African American men who were attending the University of Iowa. So that house has been protected, actually by the developer. The city gave some incentive to the developer to protect the house, and so it will stay there. All right, let's see. We're going to do a little something as if this was a radio program in the 1920s. So, as you know, one of our inspirations is Bill Sachter. But another inspiration for this place is a woman named Jane Addams. Jane was the founder of Hull House in Chicago and one of the founding mothers of social work. And she was here in Iowa City at least once, probably several times. She was here in the late 1920s, and she was talking at the university. The university used to have a religious service on Sunday evenings called Vespers, and they would invite notable people to come and talk. So she was invited once to come and be the speaker at Vespers. So I've imagined a little scene in which Jane Addams comes the day before, rides the train, gets off the train, and she comes and she's on a radio program. And so here we go. Abby's going to be Jane Addams. If you bring up both copies of that, if you would. And we're going to, Jane is going to be interviewed. Let's see, do you have a preference on microphones? Would you rather have the?
Oh, I don't care.
All right. Oh, you want that one? Okay.
I don't care.
Whatever you'd like. I think I have to turn that one on for you. Try that out and see.
Testing, testing.
A little more. Try that.
Yeah, a little more. Testing. There we go.
Okay. All right. So here we go. This is Imagine the radio show in the 1920s, and Jane Addams is with us. We're honored to have Jane Addams, the founder of Hull House in Chicago, and a leading advocate for women on our show. Since she was here about a year ago, she's been on a trip around the world and written a new book. Won't you please welcome Jane Addams? Very good. Very good. Thank you for coming back to our show.
I'm glad to be here.
I read in the Chicago Daily News last week that you recently returned from a trip around the world.
Yes, I visited more than a dozen countries in Europe and Asia. I met with women involved in peace work in each of these countries. I also gave a number of speeches to civic groups.
I understand you went to India to see Gandhi. Did you get to meet him?
No, he was in jail. The British authorities wouldn't let me visit him there. But I did get to visit the community where he lives and works.
Oh,
It seems to me a lot like a religious order. In fact, I imagine Gandhi's community is a lot like that of the Franciscans when Francis of Assisi was alive.
interesting. Are you going to write about this trip?
I'm working on a couple of magazine articles, one for Survey and one for McClure's. I've been asked to write another book as well.
Oh, We'll look forward to those. We've received a number of letters from listeners since we announced you were coming to the show again. We picked several to read on the air, and we're sending the rest back with you to Chicago. Here's the first letter. And these, by the way, are actual letters that Jane Addams received. In some cases, the responses were pieced together because it's not always, the responses were not always there or complete. Dear Jane, your story of Girls Gone Wrong, which appeared in McClure's magazine, is so very true. But you did not mention the waitresses or the showgirls or the girls in the lunchrooms. They are subject to temptation as much as the girls in department stores. This is from a dry goods clerk.
The listener is correct. All girls need opportunities for wholesome recreation. The article she mentioned concentrated on a recent study of girls aged 10 to 14 who work in department stores.
Dear Jane Addams, I am a little boy in the 8th grade. 3 days ago, our English teacher asked us to choose some famous character to write about. I chose you. Could you send me some information about your life and Hull House? Douglas Osterheld.
I have asked one of our staff at Hull House to send you a copy of a brief biography about me, which appeared recently in a magazine. Also, I am sending you a booklet about Hull House. Good luck with your story, and if you are ever in Chicago, please come and see me.
Dear Jane Addams, I'm soon to get married, and I'd like to keep my own name. Is there any law that prevents me from doing this?
It is not a legal matter to take a husband's last name. It is, I believe, only a matter of custom.
Dear Jane Addams, I would like to do something good in the world, not merely exist. I've never worked, but circumstances have forced me now to look for a job. My husband died from the curse of alcoholism. First, it robbed him of his mind, then caused his death. My family says I should be a stenographer, but I want to do something which has more meaning. Can you help me? And let's see here. Oh, Martha Hopkins was the name of the woman who wrote that letter.
My thoughts and prayers are with you at this time. I'd like to invite you to come and live with us at Whole House for 6 months. Sophanisha Breckenridge will be in touch with you about the details.
Wow, that's quite a name. I understood that around Hull House they call her Nisba. Dear Miss Addams, I noticed in the paper that you advocate putting a disarmament plank in the Republican Party platform. This pleased me a great deal. Would you also advocate such a position for the Democratic Party? Signed, a woman in Los Angeles.
Why, yes, of course. Disarmament is an issue which is important to all members of political parties.
Got a couple more here. Dear Jane Addams, things are not at all clear about my babyhood. My mother's maiden name was Kiernan, or rather my adopted mother. I'm not quite sure of the exact date that I was baptized, but Mother said I was about 2 years old. I've always been under the impression that you were Mother's bridesmaid at her wedding. Also, of course, I was named after you, which is something of which I'm very proud. I would be grateful if you could find any records. I feel like someone without a country. I hope I've given you enough information. That's signed Jane Addams Hooper.
How nice to hear from you again. I do remember having lunch a number of times with you and your mother in the Whole House Coffee House. I will ask Dr. Rochelle Yaros to check and see if she can find a birth certificate for you. Dr. Yaros is a member of the staff at Whole House and has lived with us for a number of years along with her husband, Victor.
I remember you telling us that Dr. Yaros was an obstetrician and a gynecologist, and one night she came into the Hull House dining room and yelled out, "I'm just about to deliver the 500th baby at Hull House. See ya." Dear St. Jane, I'm so glad we had some noble and kind-hearted people in this country who are speaking out against war. Many mothers are praying that God will prevent the leaders of our nation from sending our sons into the trenches. Women of the future ought to refuse to bear children for war. I wish you well in your work for peace and wish there were more heroic women like you. It was simply signed, a mother.
I have no response.
Sorry.
Jane has been left speechless. Thank you for your kind words. I am just one of many women speaking out for peace. Together, I think our voices can bring world peace and an end to war.
Okay. It turns out there is one more. All right. I thought we were done. Dear Jane Addams, do you think young unmarried mothers should be allowed to keep their children? Or should they be forced to give up their children for adoption?
Once I believed every unwed mother should keep her own child and rear it. Now I know I was wrong. I have seen so many utterly unfit to rear their children. So I don't think that there should be one single policy. This is absolutely an individual problem every time it arises.
All right. Thank you very much, Jane. Thanks for being with us. We hope to see you again. And I understand you're in town through tomorrow, and you're speaking at Vespers at the university tomorrow night, right?
I look forward to it.
Okay. Thanks so much. All right. I think that's it. Oh, I'm sorry?
If there's time, you have someone that would like to
Oh, sure. Okay. That's perfectly all right. Let me hand you the microphone, or do you want to use... Okay.
So you guys bear with me. I haven't did this. Okay. Sure you want to hear this, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, give me a hand. There we go. I wanna tell you a story about a love in all its glory. Every word I say is true. Every word is just for you. As I look across the table, In your eyes I see forever. Girl, there's no one else but you. No one else will ever do. I'm still in love with you. Got my heart so full of laughter. I finally found what I was after. I caught an angel flying low. Here is one thing you should know. I've been lost and I've been lonely until I found you, one and only. Girl, you are the song I sing, my joy, my everything. I'm still in love with you. I want you to know just how I feel. Now that my search for love is over, 'cause it'll be a lonely life without you. As these years keeps getting longer, it only makes my love grow stronger. I just can't go another day until I can hear you say, I'm still in love with you. That's it.
Stay right there for a minute. I got to ask you a question or two.
Okay.
We didn't introduce you, so tell us your name.
My name is Nathan Barbary.
Okay. And how long have you been singing like this?
Basically all my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? And mostly a cappella?
Mostly I do karaoke a lot of times.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And thanks for your help with the drawing, too. at
All
the
right, no
beginning.
problem.
So, very good. All right. Well, you'll be back, I hope.
All right, I will be.
Okay.
All
Thanks
right.
again.
All right.
All right. We do this every week. Those of you who are here and those of you on television. And if you're inspired, you can sign up for next week already. The sign-up sheet is up on the side of the pop cooler. If you're watching us, you can send us an email, uptownbills@gmail.com, and we'll sign you up for next week. So we also have a spoken word night once a month on the first Wednesday night of the month. So if you write poetry or little essays or tell stories, we'd love to have you. Next month, let's see, the first Wednesday is March 2nd, and it starts at 7 o'clock. Somewhat similar to this, a little quieter evening. We'd love to have you. You can see around the room examples of poetry that people have written. On the piano, there's a little book of poetry by someone who's been coming for a couple of years, just published book. Nancy, the writer, works with people in a hospice setting, and these are reflections on her work. Very wonderful writing. So anyway, you can sign up, as I said, right here, or sign up online for next week for the open mic or for the spoken word coming up. This Saturday night, it's our Pete Seeger tribute night. Seeger was a very important singer and songwriter in the 20th and first part of the 21st century. Died a few years ago, and we have a little tribute night in his honor. So many folk songs, particularly socially conscious folk songs, Seeger had a hand in writing. Where Have All the Flowers Gone is one example. Hundreds of them. And so we have this night once a year when we invite anyone who wishes to come and sing one of Seeger's songs. Actually, we're saying 2 or 3 Seeger songs this year. So if that's something that moves you, you are welcome still to sign up for Saturday night. There's still a few spaces left. And then after that, the week after that, a longtime singer and songwriter, folk and blues singer from Iowa City, Joe Brisbane, is here on March 27th. Excuse me, on February 27th. We're still in February, right? Right? Okay. And then in March, we just go wild with Irish music. The first Saturday in March, basically it's all Irish all day. We have an Irish music session at 3, an Irish potluck at 5, and a great local Irish band called the Beggarmen at 7 o'clock that evening. And then every week during the month, every Saturday, there's an Irish band of some type or other. So I think that's about it from us. Thank you all for coming. Hope to see you again soon. And by the way, in the corner there, where you're sitting with the lights, the tree behind you, that's Ben. Ben came to us about a year ago. And there's a person who comes every Friday, takes care of him, feeds him, talks to him. And he was gone for a couple of weeks, and Ben started losing his leaves. So we think there's something going on there. Anyway, great listener. Sometimes he leans too much into your conversation. You just ask him to back off a little bit. All right? Thank you, everyone, and have a nice evening. Good night.